What's up? It's your boy. I'm back at you with another video, and this is the review for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, the one that just dropped today that I had the chance to watch. And I had low expectations for this movie. Like, just some of the screenshots they used for the movie with the characters and the trailer that I watched, because I kind of tend to stay away from trailers. It felt very Halloween, yeah, Halloween ness, like it's been like more like Halloween Kills than the Halloween 2018. That's what it kind of felt more like, as especially with the bus scene, which I will get into later in the video. But I think I want to try to do a comparison between the original and this one, because this is supposed to be a sequel to the original, which, I mean, if it is, it's terrible. It's kind of poorly made. Spoiler: the villain basically wins in the end. So, um, but to start off, the first 10 minutes of the movie really is what probably killed did for me. Um, and I don't mean killed as in like automatically it made the movie bad. It's just it what's I don't know how I can like simply just put, like, the first 10 minutes of the movie just made me think of, do I really want to sit through this movie? Just the nods they were throwing to what people would refer to as woke stuff. It was just turned to 100. Like, this whole movie just felt like um it went through a bunch of rewrites, and they had numerous writers on it. Probably should have went and looked at the writers and the producers, because apparently this is supposed to be produced and by the creators of, which, I mean, obviously they didn't create it, but producing, it's like, okay, there are people who are good producers that produce some movies that aren't really that well. So I can't really blame or put them to what, actually you can, because they helped put out this shit fest of product or TV show, movie, whatever the hell it is. So, but like I said, just it was too much of it. Like the whole cop scene. No, even when the store, like with the gun reference, and I'm like, the movie takes place in Texas. If you're probably going to see people roll around with guns out in the open. I mean, it's an open carry state, so it's like, eh. But then, like, they like piled onto it with like other references. Then you had the guy pulled over by the cops, and they had the black guy. He's like, your hands on look, I know this stuff happens, but it was just unneedy unneeded for that scene, like for the part of the scene. So after that, the cop scene kind of go really well. They kumbaya and they go into town. So they set in the town, and we get our first look at the which that we get a first look at, like where they're going to be and things like that. And then when they go into this house, the house looks abandoned, but obviously it's not. There's someone upstairs, and then they pan back and he's gone, and then they go into this old lady who is she had an oxygen mask. She was elderly, and we get our first look at Leatherface actually in this scene. He's shown at the top of the stairs, and when they're having an altercation with the mother about the deed to the house and if she isn't supposed to be there, and in doing so, the cops get involved and they go and pick up the mother, and they taking her off because she was sick and stuff like that. And on the way, she dies, and Leatherface is there, and out of a rage that she died is pretty much what causes him to go off the rails and start this killing. Now, the thing about it, if it's a direct sequel, that person would not really be his mother. She would be more like a caregiver type thing. someone who just kind of like took care of him afterwards, but then it kind of still don't make sense because they show him it's an orphanage, and they showed a little boy in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He clearly was not a small, big husky child. So that part was like just very confusing. I just really didn't understand that. Um, they don't go into too much detail with that, and it just kind of left me with another sour taste in my mouth. So, he kills the first cop, which was pretty brutal. And I'll give this movie, for the most part, most of and the death scenes in this movie were really good for like a slasher movie. Like I'll give it that. That's what kind of saved it for me. But like I said, just the story and just certain things with the characters just didn't go well. So back to it. He kills the cop. The other cop accidentally kills the other cop, and well, he didn't kill him. He injured him, which caused him to crash. And the girl, she's seeing what's going on as he's cutting off the mom's face to put on, and she's like, he's wearing her face, and the one of the characters from the beginning at the gas station hears that and calls the lady from the first movie. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. And that's how she sort of gets introduced into the movie kind of thing, because we learned that she was a ranger. Well, she turned into a ranger, and she actually went looking for him like years later kind of thing. So we go back to that scene, and the other cop ends up getting killed, and then she ends up getting killed. It was kind of it wasn't nothing spectacular, but so we go to the back to the town, and from there, hearing about what had happened, one of the character with the gun that I mentioned, that they her name is Mel. That's the one of the main characters that she said something to. Actually, this he was the one that was supposed to be helping them, and then he took the keys so that they couldn't get away. And he told them, until you give me the deed to the house, you will not get these keys. So right there, that kind of made everybody be stuck where they are to while we get events that happen later in the movie. So that happens, and they go into the house, and upon being in the house, Leatherface comes out of nowhere. I'm still trying to figure out how he kind of just the timetable kind of thing. I don't know. Like I said, some things about this movie that don't make sense. But they end up going into the house, the male and the black character, and he basically gets his face fucked up. And you think he's dead, but when Mel goes upstairs, come to find out he's kind of not. And she goes and hides, and somehow he wakes up, and he goes and outside, and the character with the gun. I should have. I'm gonna be doing a lot of this with just describing characters, but if you watch the movie, you'll know who I'm referring to. So he comes out on the street, and one of the people that was on the bus is the investor. So basically, the characters, they brought the town apparently, and they were going to sell it. They're trying to renovate it, and the people that we see on the bus and the trailer are all investors. So let me just get that on out the way. So one of the investors, another black character, she comes and basically sees what's going on, and he tells them, look here, go into the bus, and I'll take, basically he'll try to handle it. So obviously it doesn't go well, and he dies, and he gets stabbed, and he gets his head caved in. Like, it was brutal. So in doing so, he was trying to give Mel the keys because he saw her there. So she ends up coming out of hiding. I don't know what thought process made her do that. And in the process of doing so, her sister is on the bus being just annoyance, I guess you could say, kind of thing. So as her sister goes to leave the bus to go find Mel, her older sister, Big Sis is getting into it with Leatherface. So as she's trying to get away after taking the keys, he throws the hammer at her that I think he threw the hammer at her that he used to smash a dude's head with, and I was just very confused because it's like the force that he used to smash that dude's head in, like how was she not hurt internally? Like he threw it, hit her dead in the chest. Like I kid you not. And then, but it hit her with so much force, she falls through the floor. So she's crawling. He gets the chainsaw. She gets away, but before she gets away, he cuts a pipe that for where the plumbing system is, and she gets covered with shit. So they go run and get on the bus, and this is where we lead into the bus scene that we see now. With this bus scene, it was nice. Like some of the we do get to see like some brutality stuff, especially when it ends off the black chick. Gets I feel like gets done the worst out of everybody, out of the ones that they show because there are some characters that get killed that look like they might brutally got messed up, but we don't really get to see it because of the constant cuts and stuff like that between scenes. So um, they get on the bus, and as they get on the bus, he comes on, and that's where we get the try anything, you're canceled, bro. And he revs up the chainsaw and just starts fucking murdering people, like. And it was nice. Like I said, it was a nice scene, but it was a little bit of a letdown because I said there's some like people that he killed, and I was like, I want to see like what happened to that person, but they kind of like cut it off kind of thing. So they go and hide in the bathroom that's in the back because it's one of those buses that have a bathroom behind in the back of the bus. And like I said, the black chick tries to escape and she gets cut in half, and they end up getting out on the bus. So as they're doing that, they go and run out, and we run into the character from the first movie. And you know, she's in the they get in the back, and she's like, you guys stay here, I'll go take care of this. He's after you, he's not going to stop. Like I said, it was just very Halloween like kills vibe from her. Like they just literally took a story piece from there and put it onto her character. Like her character really didn't have any other means to go in there to kill him. So she interacts with him. You know, she got a shotgun and she shoots at him. He misses, and they go down the street, and he's in the he's hiding. He comes out running at her, and they get tussle, and she starts stabbing him, and it does completely nothing. He's like, man, you know who the fuck I am, kind of thing. And he takes the chainsaw and he revs it up, and boom, and he just starts and then he throws her like I was like, whoa. And I'm just thinking like, okay, like she's definitely just dead. Like they literally have this character that they use as a centerpiece for the trailer, and they just literally her whole character was just mishandled. So um I forgot to mention when she went to go chase him, she actually threw the girls the keys, um, and told them to like get away like afterwards. So they go and they try and drive away, and he goes and throws a chainsaw, and they crash. This one sister's hurt, the other sister gets away, and she tells her to run, and the big sister Mel, she's like, oh, I'm finna die, hey, so be it. And it turns south. The other sister tries to go and shoots, and they show a scene where she kind of has like PTSD kind of thing with she was in a shooting, she has like the gunshot wound, and no. And then yeah, just I think she didn't have the safety on. That's what I'm thinking happened, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around that scene. But it obviously it don't work out. He goes to go for her, and before he's about to kill her, the character from the first movie gets her last hoorah and shoot and gives her the gun. So as she goes into how the place to go kill him, her sister somehow gets this metal rod that she had, and I'm thinking to myself, I mean, obviously it's a movie, but with it being impaled in her leg where it was, I'm pretty sure if she pulled that out, she probably would have bled to death. But obviously that didn't happen, and she ends up coming in to save her sister who was about to die again. And you know, they end up, you know, she shoots him, they get the chainsaw, and okay, boom, he's dead. We think he's all dead, and it ends with them in the car. They're driving away, and they put the car on autopilot. And it's one of those newer cars, and I when I saw that, I just did this. I went, I already knew what was something was gonna happen. And Mel, the older sister, gets pulled out. She's on the ground, her head, boom, and then they do the scene where he's swinging a chainsaw like from the original, and the sister just kind of on autopilot, and that's basically how it ends. Now, if you watch to the end, there is a scene, an end credit scene, a post credit scene, post credits, end credits. It's not in the middle of the credits. It's as when they're over, and it shows him going to a house which looks like the old house. So, but like I said, it was a movie was kind of a letdown. Like I said, it had some nice kills and all, but just the characters, like there was no story done with the characters. At least in the original, like we kind of got some little things with the characters and stuff like that, like with them being in the house and going through stuff before they were actually kind of killed. Um, but I said if I had to rate this movie, I give it like a 5.5 out of 10. I would recommend it for people who are fans of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but if someone's going into a movie looking for something, don't go see it. Now, if you're going and you just like seeing kills, I would recommend it too, but other than that, man, I just hope they just leave this timeline alone and don't try to do like a third movie to this. I just hope they don't. I just kind of hope they just leave it at that. But only other thing I have to add is if they do sometime in the future make another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, rather it's a trilogy to this one or another reboot storyline or whatever they have, because there's three other timelines for all the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. They need to get rid of this trope where the person or persons who are getting ready to survive like have an encounter. The only one I can think of that broke that trope was I think that was 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that had Jessica Biel as the star, where she actually gets away, but there was like no interaction. I think where she has with Leatherface. All the other movies, I think at the end he has some type of interaction, whether they get away or characters die. But that is my review for this movie. And like I said, I think I might do like a compare and contrast, because I said the reviews on this are kind of split. Like some people love it, hate it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just blah for me. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.